My name is Daniel. This happened in Portland, Oregon, in September 2019. I was 24 years old when I rented my first apartment alone. It was on the third floor of a building on Southeast Division Street, near the Hawthorne district. Small. 1 bedroom, a living room, kitchenette. The bathroom was in the hallway. It was all I could afford on my administrative assistant salary. I signed the lease on September 3rd, moved in on the 5th, a Thursday. The first week was quiet. I worked all day downtown and came home late, ate something, watched stuff on my phone, and slept. Simple as that. It was the second Friday, September 13th, when I started hearing it. I was lying down, almost asleep, when I heard a creak coming from my bedroom closet. It wasn't loud. It was the kind of sound you almost ignore, but I heard it. I opened my eyes, waited. Nothing. Closed my eyes again.
A few minutes later, I heard another creak, this time a bit clearer, like someone had shifted inside the closet. But it was impossible. The closet was small. I knew every inch of that space. I got up, turned on my phone's flashlight, opened the closet door. My clothes, my shoes, nothing else. I closed the door, went back to bed, tried to sleep. But the sound came back. This time it wasn't a creak, it was more subtle. A dragging sound, like something was being slowly pushed against the wood. My heart raced. I sat up in bed, stared at the closet in the dark. The sound stopped. I sat there for about 10 minutes, heard nothing more, lay back down. It took me a while to fall asleep, but eventually exhaustion won. Saturday morning, the 14th, I opened the closet to get some clothes. Everything looked normal, but when I went to grab a t-shirt hanging in the back, I saw it.
One of the boards at the back of the closet was slightly displaced. Not much, just an inch, maybe 2, but I'd never noticed it before. I spent the day out with my friend Kevin. We had lunch at the taco food truck on Belmont. Tried not to think about it. But when I came home that night, the first thing I did was look at the closet again. The board was still in the same place. I went to bed, and the sound came back. This time it was different. It wasn't a creak or a drag. It was breathing. Low, slow, deep, coming from inside the closet. I froze in bed. Couldn't move. My whole body was tense. I could barely breathe. The breathing continued for a few seconds, then stopped. I waited. Nothing happened. I grabbed my phone. It was 2:40 in the morning. Thought about calling the Portland police, but what would I say? That I heard breathing coming from the closet? They'd think I was crazy. I got up, turned on all the lights in the apartment, opened the closet door again. Nothing.
I pulled out all the clothes, took out the shoes, knocked on the back wall. Solid wood. There was no space for anyone to hide there. I left the closet open and went back to bed. If there was something in there, at least I would see it. I slept with the lights on. On Sunday, the 15th, I called the building's super, a guy named Ron. Asked if there was any water damage, any animal that could be in the walls. He said no. The building had been renovated in 2017. Everything was in order. I spent all Sunday trying to convince myself it was my imagination. Work stress, fatigue, loneliness. But when night came, I knew I would hear it again. And I did. This time it wasn't breathing. It was a whisper. Low, incomprehensible, like someone was talking from the other side of a thick wall, coming from the closet. I got up, went over there. The closet was still open, just as I'd left it. The whisper stopped when I got close.
I stood there, looking inside, at the clothes, at the backboard.
I waited 5 minutes. 10. Nothing. I went back to bed. As soon as I lay down, the whisper came back. This time I could make out a word. Here. My blood ran cold. I jumped out of bed, grabbed my phone, my wallet, and my keys, left the apartment, drove to my mom's house in Beaverton. It was 3 in the morning when I arrived. I stayed there for 2 days. On Tuesday, the 17th, I came back with Kevin. He went with me to the apartment. We opened the closet together, took everything out again. Nothing there. He laughed, said I must be really stressed, offered me a cigarette. We smoked on the balcony overlooking Division Street. He left. I was alone again. That night I heard nothing. Not on Wednesday, not on Thursday. On Friday, the 20th of September, a week after it all started, I was almost convinced it had been in my head, until I woke up in the middle of the night and saw that the closet door was closed. I had left it open. I'm sure of it. I got up slowly, walked to the closet, put my hand on the knob, took a deep breath, opened it. Nothing inside. But as I was about to close it again, I heard it, very quietly, almost imperceptible. Stay. I left the apartment that same night, broke the lease with Ron the following Monday, lost my $1,200 deposit, didn't care, never went back there. Now I live in Gresham, across town. Sometimes I drive by Southeast Division Street. I see the building. I see the window of what used to be my apartment. And I wonder who lives there now. If they hear the sounds too. If they open the closet at night. And if they stay.
My name is Rachel. This happened in Naperville, Illinois, in March 2018. My parents left on a Sunday afternoon, March 18th. They were visiting my aunt in Madison, Wisconsin. They'd be gone until Wednesday. I was 19 and said I'd rather stay home. Had to study. Had exams at the College of DuPage. The truth is, I just wanted the house to myself. Our house was on Brookdale Drive in a quiet suburban neighborhood. 3 bedrooms, 2 floors, front lawn, neighbors about 30 meters away on each side. The first night, Sunday, was fine. Ordered pizza from Lou Malnati's, watched Netflix until late, slept on the living room couch. It was peaceful. On Monday, the 19th, I came back from college around 6 in the evening. The house was as I'd left it. Ate leftover pizza, went upstairs to my room to study biology. Around 10 at night, I heard the front door open. My heart jumped. I got up from my chair, stood still, listening. I heard footsteps in the living room. Slow, heavy. I went downstairs slowly. Got to the living room. Nobody there. The front door was locked, just as I'd left it. The security chain was still on. I went back to my room, tried to study again, but I couldn't concentrate. Half an hour later, I heard it again. Footsteps. This time in the hallway downstairs. I went down again, looked in the hallway. Empty. I checked every room, the kitchen, the dining room, the powder room, all empty. I went back upstairs. The footsteps came back, closer now, like they were climbing the stairs. I locked my bedroom door, sat on the bed, grabbed my iPhone. The footsteps stopped in front of my door. I waited. 1 minute, 2, 5. Nothing happened. Eventually, I lay down, left my phone beside me, fell asleep with the light on. It was almost 2 in the morning. On Tuesday, the 20th, I woke up early, opened my bedroom door, went downstairs. Everything was normal. I went to college, attended morning classes, had lunch with my friend Jessica at the Chipotle on Ogden Avenue. Tried not to think about it. I came home in the late afternoon, around 5:30, went in, locked the door, went to the kitchen to make a sandwich. That's when I saw it. The basement door was ajar. I never opened the basement. My parents kept things down there, old boxes, furniture we didn't use anymore, Christmas decorations. It was dark and smelled like mold. The door was always closed. I walked closer, slowly, looked through the crack, only saw darkness. I closed the door, locked it. I went upstairs to my room, locked the door, decided I'd stay there until my parents came back on Wednesday. I ordered food on Grubhub, a burrito from Qdoba, studied a little, watched Grey's Anatomy on my laptop. Around 11 at night, I heard it. It wasn't footsteps this time. It was a dragging sound, like someone was dragging something heavy across the floor downstairs. The sound lasted about 30 seconds, then stopped. I sat on the bed, waiting. My heart was beating so hard I could hear it. Then I heard my bedroom door handle move, slowly, like someone was testing to see if it was locked. I made no noise, didn't move. The handle stopped moving, but then I heard it. A knock, light, on the door, and another, and another. 3 knocks, spaced out, deliberate. I grabbed my phone, thought about calling 911, but my hand was shaking so much I almost dropped it. The knocking stopped. I waited. 5 minutes. 10. Silence. I texted my parents. It was 11:40. Asked if they'd let anyone come over while they were gone. My mom answered 15 minutes later that they hadn't. Asked if everything was okay. I said yes. I didn't sleep that night. I sat there, leaning against the wall, staring at the door. When the sun came up, around 6:30, I left my room, went downstairs, looked through the entire house. Everything was exactly as I'd left it. The basement door was still locked. But as I was about to go back upstairs to my room, I saw it. On the living room table, something that wasn't there before. A glass, half full of water. I hadn't left that there. I'm sure of it. My parents arrived that afternoon, Wednesday, March 21st, around 3. I told them everything. My dad, David, thought I'd made it up. My mom, Susan, was worried. They checked the entire house. Nothing was out of place. Nothing had been moved. But my dad went to the basement, stayed down there about 15 minutes. When he came up, he was pale. He said he'd found one of the basement windows unlocked. Small, in the corner, faced the backyard, covered by lilac bushes. Someone could have gotten in through there and left through the same window. We called the Naperville police. They made a report. Found no signs of forced entry, no fingerprints, nothing. We changed the locks, got an ADT alarm system. My dad boarded up the basement window. But I know something's wrong, because that glass on the table, that glass of water, it was warm, like someone had been holding it for a long time before leaving it there.